Pharmaniaga CEO Datuk Zulkarnain Mohamad Yusof has resigned effective today after less than 3 weeks in the position. In a filing with the local Bursa, the company said he is vacating the position to pursue other interests. Zulkarnain was appointed as CEO on February 22, 2023, after he was promoted from the position of Pharmaniaga's managing director, a role he held since September 1, 2020. It had been hoped that Zulkarnain would be able to resolve the financial crisis at Pharmaniaga, which in the fourth quarter of FY 2022 booked its largest ever quarterly loss of 664.39 million ringgit, dragged by a 552 million ringgit impairment of unsold COVID-19 vaccines. Pharmaniaga said the group will continue its business as usual. In the interim, the company said an executive committee comprising Director Ahmad Shah Ridwan Muhammad Sharif, Deputy CEO Zulkifli Jaafar, COO Muhammad Iqbal Abdul Rahman and CFO Noraini Muhammad Ali will take over the duties and perform the functions of the Chief Executive Officer. As for its regularization plan, the Executive Committee will report to the newly formed PN17 Board Committee Task Force, chaired by Director Datuk Lim Tian Siang. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim says the probe into the littoral combat ship fiasco must continue. According to a Bernama report, the PM said this is because the scandal was done on a large scale and involved leakages. He said earlier action was not enough to uncover and find the real culprits in the case, and so the probe must continue. Anwar added this instruction has been forwarded to the MACC, which has informed him there will be a second-round prosecution. The government has sunk in 6.08 billion ringgit, or 66.59% of the total contract costs, to build the 6 ships. Not a single vessel has been delivered. So far, only 79-year-old Tan Sri Ahmad Ramli Muhammad Noor, former Chief of the Royal Malaysian Navy and ex-MD of Bousted Naval Shipyard, has been brought to court. He was charged with 3 counts of criminal breach of trust amounting to 21.08 million ringgit, which accounts for 0.23% of the 9.13 billion ringgit contract value and 0.35% of the 6.08 billion ringgit spent. The FBM KLCI sank beneath 1,400 points today as shockwaves from the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank in the US continued to spook investors. The benchmark composite fell 1.97% or 28 points to 1,393.83 points, its lowest level since October 2022. All indices on the local stock exchange were down. In the broader market, losers thumped gainers 878 to 179. 3.38 billion shares with 2.5 billion ringgit changed hands. Among the heavyweights, Maybank fell 1.18% to 8 ringgit 34 sen. Public Bank tumbled 3.24% to settle at 3 ringgit 88. CIMB Group lost 3% to end the day at 5 ringgit 17. Petronas Chemicals Group fell 2.11% to 6 ringgit 95, and Tenaga Nasional slipped 0.54% to 9 ringgit 27. The decline was due to knee-jerk selling and fears of systematic spread in relation to the US banking sector, which triggered global selling of banking stocks, said HLIB Research Head of Retail Research Ng Jun Sheng. He told The Edge there were also heightened worries of a hard landing in the US economy and fears of a serious hit on corporate earnings, though he believes asset quality in domestic banks is relatively decent following the local banking sector's consolidation in the 2000s. Businessman Datuk Roy, the man who is said to be at the centre of the Jana Wibawa probe, has been remanded by the Kuala Lumpur Magistrates Court for 3 days. The MACC had asked the court for a 7-day remand order, but lawyer Fahmi Abdul Moin, who appeared for the suspect, objected. He informed The Edge that he had told the magistrate, Norelina Hanim Abdul Halim, there was no concrete reason for the 7-day remand and she allowed the suspect to be remanded for 3 days instead. The man is said to have surrendered himself to the MACC yesterday after the anti-graft agency said it was on a lookout for a Datuk Roy who previously had a cheating conviction. Revenue Group co-founders Brian Ng Shi Chiao and Dino Ng Shi Fang have been charged in the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court over the sale of a company vehicle which was allegedly carried out without the approval of the board. The brothers are accused of having registered the vehicle, a Toyota Velfire, under Dino's name without board resolution and later misleading a bank officer and fraudulently causing him to dispose of company property on October 3, 2018. They pleaded not guilty to the charge. If convicted, the duo could face jail time of between 6 months and 5 years with whipping and also be liable to a fine. The prosecution asked for a bail amount of 20,000 ringgit each in one surety and for the surrender of their passports, but their lawyer argued they should be released on a personal bond. He said the brothers had not actually committed an offence and that they were under attack from a corporate mafia said to be planning a hostile takeover of the company. The court dismissed this as mere allegations and set a bail amount of 10,000 ringgit each in one surety. Case mention will take place on April 14th.